My stepmom lied to my girlfriend to break us up, then hit on me saying, "Forget that pathetic child. A real man needs a mature woman who actually knows how to satisfy him." So I exposed her to my dad. Now she's broken alone. So I'm 19, about to hit 20 soon, and I'm living by myself in this small but decent apartment near my college. I've got a part-time job, decent grades, and a gym routine that finally gave me some actual muscle mass instead of the noodle arms I had in high school. Life's all right now. Not perfect, but solid. But things at home, and I say that loosely, are weird, and have been for a while. My actual mom's not in the picture. Long story short, she dipped when I was a kid. No calls, no birthdays. I don't even remember her face, honestly. Dad raised me solo until I was about 16, and for a long time, it was just the two of us. He's a good dude, worked a lot, but he made sure I had what I needed. We weren't ever super close emotionally or whatever, but we respected each other. That's kind of how we roll. Anyway, when I was 16, my dad started dating this woman named Jessica. She's 34 now, so yeah, she's younger than him by quite a bit. Honestly, at first, I was cool with it. Dude had been single forever, like a decade. He deserved someone. I thought she was maybe a little fake sometimes, but nothing major. They got married within a year, which felt fast. But again, his life, not mine. Jessica came with a +1, her daughter Mary. She's 16 now, which means she was 13 when she moved in. Brother that girl, where do I start? She's like the type of kid who thinks life is just one big TikTok challenge. Loud, entitled, always complaining about stupid stuff like how the Wi-Fi isn't fast enough for her vlogs, or how her personal brand is being stifled. She acts like she's famous, but literally no one outside her Instagram followers knows she exists. From the jump, she was annoying. Not like mildly irritating, but the type of annoying that gets under your skin so bad you start questioning if you're the problem. Jessica, my stepmom or whatever, treated her like royalty, always hyping her up, saying how creative she was, and how she was going to be a star. Meanwhile, I was just kind of there, like background noise in my own house. I tried not to let it bother me at first. I stayed in my lane, did my homework, went to the gym, hung out with my friends when I could. I wasn't trying to cause drama or pick fights. I figured they'd do their thing and I'd do mine, and we'd just coexist. But Jessica? Nah. She had this weird thing where she'd act like she was my mom. She'd try to tell me how to dress, comment on my friends, ask if I did my laundry, and if I needed help understanding girls. Like I needed dating advice from a woman who married a dude almost 20 years older with a silent teenage son. The audacity. She'd try to make these family dinners where she'd cook food no one asked for, and we'd all sit around awkwardly like one of those fake family stock photos. Mary would be glued to her phone. Jessica would be asking me invasive questions about my life like, "Are you applying to safety schools too? Or just aiming for top tier?" And my dad would be trying to pretend everything was chill. It was not chill. I always felt like Jessica was trying to force some kind of TV show dynamic. Like she saw herself as the quirky but lovable stepmom who saves the day and teaches life lessons with quirky metaphors. In reality, she just bulldozed her way into stuff that didn't concern her. But I'll be honest, what really made things tense wasn't even Mary's spoiled attitude or Jessica's weird "I'm your mom now" energy. It was how my dad just let it all happen. Like he'd get mad at me if I didn't go along with it. If I rolled my eyes at Jessica's dumb comments, he'd pull me aside and tell me I needed to adjust because this was our new normal. And I did try. For a while, I really did. But the more I stayed in that house, the more I felt like a guest in my own life. So after I graduated high school, I got out. I found a part-time job, got accepted to a college nearby, and moved into a small apartment not far from the house. It's nothing fancy. 1 bedroom, microwave that sounds like it's gonna explode, neighbors that blast music at 2 a.m. But it's mine. Now that I've got space from that mess, I can breathe again. I don't visit much. Holidays mostly. I'll drop by if my dad calls and sounds serious. But other than that, I keep it limited. And yeah, not to sound full of myself or whatever, but I've had a serious glow up since I moved out. I've been hitting the gym like a man on a mission. I dress better now. I got rid of the high school mop haircut. I look in the mirror and actually feel like I have control over something. I think Jessica noticed too, but I'll get to that in the next part. Oh, and before I forget, there's this girl. Her name's Sarah. We met at a party a few weeks back. She's in one of my electives. She's funny, smart, not annoying, and somehow finds my dry humor attractive. We've been talking a lot, and I feel like something's starting there. It's not official yet, but we've been hanging out more and more. She makes me forget about all the nonsense back home. Living on my own has been peace. Straight up. Nobody yelling through walls, no fake family dinners, no being told I should listen to Jessica because she's basically my mom now. Which, by the way, she said once, out loud, with her whole chest. That's when I knew I wasn't imagining it. This lady seriously thinks I'm gonna treat her like some parental figure just because she signed a marriage license and brought her Walmart version of Sharpay Evans into our house. She's always had this control freak energy, but when I turned 17, it went full throttle. I remember this one situation clear as day. It was just me and my boys planning to hang out at my friend Anthony's place. All guys. We were doing dumb stuff. Games, trash talk, maybe grill some burgers, normal guy stuff. Just one of those chill nights. Mary hears about it, eavesdropping probably, and decides she wants to tag along. Just like that. No invite, no, can I go, just assumed she was coming. I told her no. Straight up. Told her it was a guy's night and she'd be bored anyway. Plus, nobody there wanted to babysit a 14-year-old who thought she was Kylie Jenner. She loses it, like literal tears. Sprints to Jessica like I committed war crimes or something. I'm not even exaggerating. 10 minutes later, Jessica's storming into my room. Tells me I was disrespectful and mean to Mary for no reason. I told her it wasn't personal. It was just a boys-only thing. She hits me with, "You're not her father. You don't get to decide who includes her." Bruh. What? Then the big guns came out. Dad got involved. And of course, because Jessica's tears apparently hold more weight than anything else in the house, he sided with her. Didn't even let me explain. Just went on this, "You need to respect your stepmother" lecture. Said I was being selfish, ungrateful, all that. Mind you, I'd never even had issues with Mary before that. I'd tolerated her influencer cosplay, ignored the way she always left food wrappers on the couch, never said anything when she hogged the Wi-Fi doing makeup live streams during my online exams. But saying no to one hangout? Suddenly, I'm Satan. And that wasn't the last time either. Jessica started inserting herself into everything. I'd mention applying to certain colleges. She'd say things like, "I don't think you'd thrive there, too competitive." I'd be looking at internships, and she'd magically have a friend who knows a better one. I'd bring home groceries, and she'd comment on what I eat. "So much red meat? That's not good for someone with your body type." Girl, what body type? I'm literally healthy. She's acting like I'm a medical mystery or something. She would give these long speeches like she was auditioning for TEDx. "I'm not trying to replace your mom, but as your mother figure, I care about your choices. Bro, you met me when I was almost 17. I had chest hair already. You don't get to reboot my childhood. Thing is, I could maybe live with all of that if Dad ever backed me. But he didn't. He just kept doing that keep the peace thing where he'd sit on the couch, nod along and say stuff like, 'She just wants what's best for the family.' Family? Whose family?" After I moved out, I started pulling back. Didn't visit often. I'd text him here and there, but I wasn't in any rush to hang out with that mess. Mary's still in the house acting like she runs it, and Jessica's doing her fake politician routine every time I show my face. I've only been back for holidays, and like maybe twice when my dad asked for help moving stuff. And speaking of showing my face, ever since I moved out and started working out consistently, things have changed. I lost the skinny gamer look and put on some actual mass. I get compliments now. Random people hold conversations with me longer than 3 seconds. I actually get double takes sometimes. I never cared that much about looks before, but gotta admit, it feels good when people finally treat you like a full human. Even Jessica noticed, which is weird. I'll talk about that more in the next part. Anyway, I'm doing good now. College isn't some crazy social dream or anything, but I've got a decent life going. Got my part-time gig at the campus gym. I pay my own rent, I cook, and more importantly, I don't gotta check in with anyone about where I go or what I eat. That's a win. Then I met Sarah. Kinda random, she was at this party my roommate dragged me to. We ended up talking about the weird psychology book I was reading. She called it nerdy in a cute way, and didn't even look bored when I explained the whole intro chapter. That's how I knew she wasn't like the others. We've been talking ever since. It's nothing deep yet, but it's headed somewhere. You can tell when something's different, you know? Which brings us to Christmas. The day Jessica's jaw hit the floor when I showed up looking like an actual man, instead of the scrawny kid who used to avoid eye contact. And that's where things started going from annoying to something else entirely. So, at Christmas, my dad invited me over, and honestly, I wasn't gonna go at first. Holidays at that house feel more like attending a group project where no one likes each other. But guilt got me. He sounded kinda hopeful when he called, and I figured, whatever, show up, eat, bounce. I hadn't been back to the house in months. Last time I stopped by was to grab my winter coat that somehow got mixed up in storage. Read, Jessica threw it in a bin and pretended it was lost. So yeah, vibes were already mid going in. I pull up wearing a fitted black sweater, jeans that actually fit, clean fade, smelling like a dude with a job. I'm not saying I looked like a Calvin Klein ad, but I wasn't rocking the high school hoodie and acne starter pack anymore. All I wanted was to eat ham, give my dad his socks, and go back to my place. Jessica opens the door. Tell me why this woman's eyes did a full scan like she was uploading my stats to the cloud. Her expression dropped for a second. Then she forced a smile and said, "Wow, you look grown." Yeah, no joke. That pause was loud. She gives me a hug. Awkward. Not long, not short, just weird. She did that back pat thing like I was some co-worker she didn't expect to see at the company BBQ. I was like, okay, whatever. Maybe she's just caught off guard. I walk in and say hi to Dad. He smiles, gives me the usual, "How's school?" greeting. Mary's slumped on the couch like a bored house cat, scrolling on her phone with AirPods in. Doesn't even look up. Classic. Dinner was set up already. Jessica does this fake Martha Stewart setup every year with candles and color-coded napkins. I sit down, start loading up my plate, just trying to focus on stuffing myself with mashed potatoes and not saying anything dumb. 10 minutes in, Jessica brings it up again. "You've really filled out, haven't you?" she says, tilting her head like some kind of wildlife biologist observing a rare gorilla. I say thanks and keep eating. My brain's going, okay, that was weird, but fine. I thought that'd be the end of it. Then Dad asks about school. I start telling him about my classes, how I'm passing econ finally, and how my marketing professor might hook me up with a paid internship next semester. Jessica interrupts to say, well, he always had potential, he just needed structure. She says it like I was raised in a forest or something. I ignore it. I don't have the energy to get into it. Then I casually mention Sarah. She's in my lit class. We met at a party. Super chill, into the same stuff I'm into. I think it's going somewhere. Dad nods. Says, nice. She local? I say yeah, lives near campus. Mary doesn't react, still glued to her phone like she's live streaming from another planet. Jessica suddenly perks up, like weirdly excited. Oh, how exciting! You'll have to bring her around sometime. We should meet her. I blink. Yeah, I mean, we're not official yet or anything. Maybe later. She just smiles and goes, still, it's good to meet who you're spending your time with. Relationships shape your future. Lady, please relax. You met me when I was already legally allowed to vote. The rest of the night was just awkward small talk and gift exchanges. I gave Dad a decent flannel shirt. He gave me a gas gift card and some socks. Mary got a new iPhone case and looked mildly disappointed. Jessica gave me cologne. Expensive one, too. Like she's trying to impress someone. Next day, I come back around noon to grab some leftovers. Don't judge. Free food is free food. Jessica opens the door again, all smiles. She's in some yoga outfit now, like she was posing for an Instagram mom blogger account. Says she's so glad I came back. I go inside, heat up some ham, and sit at the kitchen island scrolling memes while she's chopping vegetables, or pretending to. I crack a joke about a dumb TikTok I saw. She laughs way too hard and touches my arm. Just real casual-like, but still. She keeps doing it. Like everything I say is suddenly stand-up comedy material. She's all, oh, stop, and lightly slaps my shoulder. That kind of laugh you give when you're not really laughing, just flirting. I don't know how to explain it, but her vibe changed. She was smiling too much, standing a little too close. Like we were co-workers at a company holiday party, and she just found out I was single. I didn't lean in, didn't even look at her too long. Just nodded and pretended to check something on my phone until I finished my food. Mary was upstairs editing a video, or whatever excuse she had. Dad wasn't home. It was just me and Jessica in the kitchen, and the tension felt like someone muted the room. I say, thanks for the food, and head out real quick. The whole drive back to my place, I kept thinking, nah, I'm tripping. Maybe she was just being nice. Maybe she always acted like that, and I just notice it now because I've grown up. But deep down, I knew something shifted. That wasn't just nice to see you. That was her realizing I'm not the quiet teenager who used to stay in his room. That was her seeing something else. I didn't say anything to anyone, not even to Sarah. I wasn't even sure what there was to say. It's not like Jessica full-on said anything. It was just vibes. Weird vibes. And then boom, me and Sarah made it official. It happened kind of naturally. We were hanging out a lot, texting nonstop. She started leaving stuff at my place. Girls love claiming drawer space, man. One night after grabbing tacos, she looked at me and went, so what are we? And I just said, well, I mean, I hope we're not just friends at this point. She laughed, said, good answer, and that was that. Anyway, it was all going smooth. I met her family already. Her mom's a nurse, Her dad's one of those quiet but always judging types. But overall, they were solid. They asked me stuff about school, offered me banana bread, and didn't make it weird. Sarah, though? She wanted to meet mine. Now listen. I dodged that ask like it was a group project in high school. I said stuff like my schedule's crazy or they're kind of all over the place during holidays. Which isn't a total lie, but also, I just didn't want to put her in the same room as Jessica. That woman is like a shark in yoga pants. Smiles a lot, but you know there's something evil happening behind her eyes. Sarah's persistent, though. After a couple weeks, she said, "Come on, I've already met your dad technically on FaceTime. And if your stepmom is really that annoying, it's not like I'm gonna marry her." Fair. So we set a Sunday afternoon visit. Casual. No dinner, no sleepover, just pop in, say hi, grab coffee after. I gave Sarah the full debrief on what to expect. Jessica's fake as hell, Mary won't care you exist, and Dad will try to pretend everything is totally normal, while Jessica interrogates you like she's Homeland Security. We show up. I knock. Door swings open and there she is. Jessica. Rockin' full makeup, hair done, nails freshly painted like she was prepping for a magazine shoot. She sees Sarah and her smile tightens. Like it wasn't a smile, more like the, "I don't like you, but I'm too polite to show it yet," kind of smile. She gives me the usual fake hug, then turns to Sarah and goes, "You must be the famous girl we've been hearing so much about." Famous? I mentioned Sarah once during Christmas dinner, and she made it sound like she's been tracking her on LinkedIn. Sarah smiles, super polite, says, "Nice to meet you," and goes in for a handshake. Jessica ignores the handshake and gives her a hug. Sarah's face is like, okay, that's not weird at all. Dad shows up in the living room, says hi, offers drinks, does his classic awkward dad chuckle. Mary? She's on the couch watching TikToks at full volume with AirPods in. Don't even look up. We sit down. Jessica's instantly in interview mode. "So, Sarah," she starts. "What's your major?" Sarah answers. "Biology." Jessica nods, fake interested. "Ah, not many girls go into science. That must be hard for you." Sarah just says, "Not really," with this calm little shrug. Jessica keeps going. "Do you plan on using your degree or just getting married after college?" I shoot her a look like, "What is wrong with you?" Sarah chuckles, goes, "Ideally both, unless that's illegal now." Jessica laughs, but it's tight, like she didn't expect Sarah to have clapback energy. I was proud of her, honestly. It didn't stop, though. Jessica kept asking questions that were weirdly pointed. "So are your parents still together? What church do you go to? Are you and my stepson, serious?" Wink Sarah handled it all like a pro. Calm, polite, but never letting anything slide. I could tell she was clocking everything, but she stayed classy. The best part? My dad just sat there sipping tea like he was watching a weather report, occasionally chiming in with "Sarah seems nice," like that was gonna make up for Jessica playing 20 questions, passive-aggressive edition. Mary, as predicted, stayed glued to her phone. Not one word the entire time. Might as well have been a houseplant with Wi-Fi. After a while, Jessica suddenly says, "I should show Sarah the garden I built. It's kind of my sanctuary. Come on, I'll give you a quick tour." Sarah looks at me like, "Do I have to?" But I nod because saying no would cause a scene. They leave. I figured, okay, cool, 10-minute awkward tour, whatever. Me and my dad start talking. He asks about my internship applications. I fill him in. We actually have a decent convo for once. I mentioned that I've been thinking of switching majors next year, and he says, "Do what makes sense for you." I was low-key shocked. Actual support? From Dad? Wild. Anyway, time ticks on. Like 15 minutes. Still no Sarah. I ask, "Is the garden even that big?" Dad shrugs, says Jessica's been out there a lot lately. I start to feel weird about it, but just as I stand up to check, the door opens and Sarah walks in. Her face? Office. She's pale, eyes kinda low, not crying, but something's clearly bothering her. I go, "You good?" She smiles quick, says, "Just a headache. I think the sun got to me." Then sits down and acts like nothing happened. We chill for another 20 minutes. She's quiet the whole time. Doesn't really join the conversation. I suggest we bounce early. She agrees instantly. We get in the car. I start driving. Not even 5 minutes in, she blurts it. "I don't think I can do this." I go, "What?" "This. United States. I don't think it's gonna work." I hit the brakes emotionally, like my heart just stalled. "Wait, what happened?" She doesn't answer. Just shakes her head. "It's not you. It's just something I found out. I'm sorry." I push. "Sarah, what does that mean?" She wipes her eyes and says, "I can't say. I promised I wouldn't." Bruh. We rode in silence all the way back to her place. I dropped her off. She gave me one last sad look and left. I sat in my car for a full 10 minutes, just staring at my steering wheel. No answers. No clue what just happened. But I wasn't dumb. I knew who she talked to. I knew where she went. And I had one name in my head. Jessica. Only question was what exactly she said, and how far she was willing to go to sabotage my life. Alright, so after Sarah ghosted me emotionally in the car, and said she couldn't do this, I drove home completely stunned. My brain was just sitting there buffering the whole ride. Like, bro, we were fine. Laughing last week, texting nonstop. Now I'm dropping her off like I'm a Lyft driver and she won't even look me in the eye? And then she hit me with, I promised I wouldn't say. So obviously I wasn't just hurt, I was pissed. There's literally only one person she was alone with. One person who's had a problem with every girl I've ever mentioned. One person who smiles like a pageant queen while casually ruining lives. Jessica. I was like 90% sure it was her. The other 10%? Maybe Mary decided to pull some dumb prank. But honestly, she's too busy editing lip sync clips to care. And even if she did say something, she wouldn't have the brain power to pull off this level of sabotage. This felt calculated, on purpose. So I sit with it for 2 days. I text Sarah once, just said, I'm here if you ever want to talk. No pressure. She left it on read. Cool. On day 3, I make a decision. No more wondering. I need answers. Dad's at work. Mary's probably at school or out doing influencer cosplay. I know Jessica's home though. She doesn't work. Just does projects around the house like gardening, redecorating the guest room, and other stuff rich housewives do when they get bored. I show up unannounced. She opens the door wearing this athletic set that looks more fashion than function. Fake smile already locked in. Oh, what a surprise, she says. Yeah, I say. Can we talk? She moves aside, lets me in like it's totally normal. No questions. We sit at the kitchen island, same spot where she fake laughed at my TikTok joke a few weeks back. I get straight to it. What did you say to Sarah? Her smile fades a little. She tilts her head like she's playing innocent. What do you mean? You know exactly what I mean. She broke things off right after you took her to see the garden. Told me she found something out, but couldn't tell me. So I'll ask again. What did you say to her? She leans back, folds her arms, takes this dramatic breath like she's in a reality show. She deserved to know the truth. That sentence hits like a frying pan to the face. I go still. What truth? She looks at me dead in the eye and says, that you carry a genetic condition, one that could seriously affect your future children. I blinked. Hard. You told her I have a disease? She shrugs like she just told someone their parking meter expired. She was going to find out eventually. It's not fair to trap someone in a relationship if they don't know what they're signing up for. There is no condition. Zero. I've had physicals, blood tests. I'm boringly healthy. I had chickenpox when I was 8, that's about it. Where did you even get that from? I ask. She just says, your dad mentioned once that his uncle had something. It runs in the family. Dude, his uncle had arthritis in his 70s. Now I'm furious, like full-on heart rate rising, hands clenched, pulse in my ears. I stand up. That was private. That wasn't your place. You ruined something that meant a lot to me. And then it gets real weird. She stands up too, walks around the island, gets close, too close. I was just looking out for you, she says, voice soft now. I take a step back. I didn't ask you to. She takes a step forward, puts her hand on my arm. I just think people don't always see what's right in front of them, the ones who actually care. I pull my arm back like it's on fire. What are you doing? Then she says, you're so much more mature now. I notice. Your dad doesn't, but I do. Nah. I step back again, and she reaches out like she's about to grab my shirt or something. I dodge her hand and just say, no, nope, absolutely not. And I walk. I don't say goodbye. I don't wait for her to explain. I don't even grab a bottle of water from the fridge. I just walk straight to my car, get in, and slam the door shut hard enough to shake my rearview mirror. I sit there breathing like I just ran a 5K in jeans. My whole face is hot. My hands are shaking. I never expected that. I came for answers, not whatever that was. She tried to kiss me, or at least get close enough to make it look like that. I felt sick, like physically sick. I couldn't believe it. This woman married my dad, claims to be my mother figure, acts like she's mentoring me, and then she tells my girlfriend a made-up health lie to scare her off and tries to make a move on me like this is some messed-up indie movie. I drive home in silence. Not even music, just road noise and disbelief. I text Sarah again. Tell her straight up, Jessica lied. There's no condition. I don't know what she told you exactly, but I promise you, She's not right in the head. If you ever want proof or need to talk, I'm here. No reply. That night, I didn't sleep. I laid in bed just replaying everything. Every fake smile, every controlling comment, every time she got involved in my business. It wasn't just disrespect anymore. It was malicious. And this time, it crossed a line even my dad couldn't ignore. He needed to know. No more protecting people who don't deserve it. No more letting him pretend everything's okay. So after the whole kitchen island disaster, I spent the night mentally stuck between I should have swung and I need a witness for this kind of mess. Like I knew what happened. I knew it was real, but it still felt like I hallucinated it. Jessica, my stepmom, 34, married to my actual dad, tried to kiss me, or touch me, or something close enough to make me nope out like my soul was allergic. And before that, she told my girlfriend a fake medical lie about me. Made-up condition, genetic nonsense, just so she'd break up with me, which worked, by the way. Sarah dumped me cold, so I knew I couldn't sit on this. I didn't want to tell my dad, because let's be real, no kid wants to drop the "your wife's a psycho who came at me sideways" bomb. But I had to. This wasn't something I could keep to myself, not just because of what happened, but because I realized she's been controlling everything for years. And if I don't say something, she'll just keep doing it to whoever else steps into my life. So I called him the next day and said I needed to talk. Just us. No Jessica. He sounded a little suspicious, but agreed. Told me to come by after work. Said Jessica and Mary would be out for dinner with some friend group. I get there around 6. The house feels quiet in a weird way. Like the kind of quiet that makes you feel like the walls are listening. We sit in the backyard. Dad cracks open a soda. I got water. And we just chill for a second before I go, "So, I need to tell you something that's not easy to say." He looks at me like, uh-oh, but stays quiet. That's one thing about my dad. He's not a talker. More of a nod and absorb kind of guy. So I start from the garden situation. I say, "Jessica told Sarah something that made her break up with me." He raises an eyebrow. "What do you mean?" "She told her I have some genetic condition." Made it sound serious enough that Sarah didn't want to be with me anymore. He squints. "What condition?" "I don't have one. It was made up." He leans back, stays quiet, then says, "Why would she do that?" And I'm like, "Exactly. Why?" Then I pause. Try to figure out how to say the rest without making it sound worse than it already is. But there's no real soft way to say it. So I just ripped the Band-Aid. And when I went over to ask her why, she got weird. Really weird. His face changes a little. Like he already doesn't like where this is headed. I go on, "She put her hand on me. Got real close. Said stuff like, 'You don't notice me anymore,' but she does." Like, that kind of talk. He doesn't blink. Just stares at me. She tried to touch me again. Like in a way that wasn't okay. Still no reaction. I pushed her off and left. I haven't told anyone else. But I can't let that go. He finally speaks. "I believe you. I swear." I had to double take. "What?" He nods. Looks at the ground like he's staring through the grass. "I believe you. I should have said something earlier." Now I'm frozen. This man is about to unload something. "She cheated on me," he says. I blink. "What?" He goes, "Last year. Some guy at the gym. She said it was just texting, but I saw the messages. I didn't tell you because I figured it wouldn't matter. But now, I should have known she'd crossed the line again." I sit back like I just got hit with a brick. "And you stayed with her?" He shrugs. "I thought it was a phase. I thought she was just lonely, bored, whatever. But now she's messing with you?" "Nah." There was this pause. We both sat in it. Like the silence was thicker than air. "She needs to leave," I said. He nodded slow. "She will." That was all I needed to hear. The next couple weeks were a blur. My dad actually followed through. He talked to a lawyer. Told Jessica they were done. Didn't scream. Didn't argue. Just gave her the facts. I wasn't there, but he told me later she didn't even deny it. Just cried and blamed stresses and miscommunication. Mary? She flipped out. Screamed at both of them. Called my dad a liar. Called me fake. Then packed a bag and left with Jessica. I didn't say goodbye. Fast forward 3 weeks. They're out. House is quiet again. Dad says it feels like a hotel now, but he's sleeping better. He's not angry. More like relieved. Says he feels like he can breathe. Jessica tried to take stuff with her, but the prenup locked her down. My dad's not stupid. He had a lawyer draft that thing the minute she moved in. She walked out with her clothes and some perfume. Nothing more. And Mary? She's been posting cryptic stuff online like some people never appreciate what you do for them. She dropped out of whatever school she was going to and is apparently working part-time at some boutique in a strip mall. From princess to retail assistant in 3 weeks flat. As for me, I've been trying to put my life back together. I haven't heard from Sarah. Not yet anyway. but I think I will. I just hope it's not too late to fix things. And my dad? For the first time in years, I think he actually sees me. Not just as the kid he raised, but as someone who stood up when it mattered. He told me, "You did the right thing. I'm proud of you." First time he's ever said that out loud. So yeah, he didn't waste time. Called a lawyer, hit her with the "we're done" talk like a CEO firing an intern. No big speech, no screaming match, just cold facts and legal paperwork. Jessica tried to spin it, obviously. Cried, said, "I misunderstood." Said she was just being affectionate and feels misunderstood in this house. Right, that's why you tried to sabotage my relationship and then treat me like your emotional support man-child. The prenup saved us. Dad had it locked in when they got married. She didn't get the house, no money, no half of the savings, nothing. All she walked away with was whatever fit in 2 suitcases and a knockoff designer purse. Mary, though, she was big mad. She stormed around the house like she was auditioning for a CW drama. Accused Dad of destroying their lives, said I was selfish. Called me a liar, fake, and all kinds of other nonsense. Not once did she ask what actually happened. Just assumed I ruined her TikTok kingdom for fun. Whatever. She was never really family anyway. More like a loud background character in a show you wish would get written out after season 1. She left with Jessica. Tried to guilt Dad into paying for her stuff still. School fees, phone bill, her car. He said no. She flipped. Slammed the door so hard the porch camera fell off the mount. That was about 2 weeks ago. Since then, we've been getting small updates from mutuals. Apparently they're staying at Jessica's sister's place, which is tiny. Mary's been venting online through passive-aggressive captions like, "Some people only love you when you're useful." She dropped out of school, deleted her TikTok account, and is now working at a store in the strip mall near campus. Irony? I walk past it on my way to class. On my way. I don't even look inside. As for my dad, he's better. Lighter. You can tell the weight's gone. He says the house is quiet now, but not in a bad way. Just peaceful. He's cooking again. Reads more. I think he's still kind of kicking himself for not seeing it sooner. But I told him, it's not about what you missed, it's about what you fixed. And me? I'm focused. I'm doing well in classes. My internship's locked in for the summer. I've been going hard at the gym, helping train new members at the campus fitness center, and actually making decent money doing it. First time in a while, I feel like I'm building something real. Just for me. Except, yeah, there's still one thing hanging over me. Sarah. I kept thinking about her. Every day since the breakup. I didn't just like her, she actually got me. We could talk about dumb stuff, smart stuff, stuff that didn't matter and stuff that did. She was the first person I pictured in my future that didn't make it feel claustrophobic. And then Jessica took that from me. So, I did something about it. Wrote her a letter. No texting, no social media. Just a real handwritten letter. Like some 2006 Nicholas Sparks throwback. I said, "I know you probably don't trust what I say anymore, but I want to give you the truth anyway. What Jessica told you was a lie. There's no condition. I don't have anything genetic or dangerous. I can literally send you my full medical chart if that's what it takes. I get why you left. You were trying to protect yourself, but I want you to know she doesn't get to control how my story ends. Or yours." I dropped it off at her apartment mailbox with a printed doctor's summary. Just the basics. Proving everything. Then I waited. And yeah, she texted. And came by the next day like she said. We talked. It wasn't dramatic or loud. No big speeches. But she stayed for a while. Long enough for coffee to go cold, and for her to start laughing again like she used to. And when she left, she smiled at me the way she did back when everything still felt new. Update. So yeah, for everyone asking if me and Sarah got back together. After I sent the letter and the proof, she came over. We talked. Not just small talk, real stuff. She told me Jessica's lie freaked her out, and she panicked. I don't blame her. That whole thing was wild. But we cleared the air, and since then, we've been talking again, hanging out. It's not, we're back together official, but she wore my hoodie home last week. Do the math. Jessica? Not doing great. She tried to spin the divorce online, but it's obvious she's miserable. No house, no money, no audience. Mary's even worse. Dropped out, lost her job, now working somewhere that smells like dog shampoo. Blames everyone but herself. Dad's different now. Lighter. No fake peacekeeping. Just calm. He finally said he's proud of how I handled it. And I actually believed him this time. Me? I'm good. Still grinding school, work, gym. No more drama. No more fake family vibes. Just me, real friends, and maybe, just maybe, getting a second shot at something real with Sarah. Feels good to finally be the one driving the story instead of reacting to it. And yeah, I'm not looking back.